Hey, what's up, everybody? Pat here, grateful recovering alcoholic and addict, just like every day. Guys, please don't forget to subscribe, leave the video a like, drop me a comment, and by all means, share with anybody you think might get something out of it. Other than that, how we all doing today, guys? What a day! Amazing day. Went to a huge meeting last night. I did get to speak. It was a podium meeting, and I struggled with that, and I was sweating bullets. Literally sweat pouring off my face by the time I was done. But that's okay, guys. It's the first time I've been in front of a podium in front of a couple of hundred people, and it got me last second. But you know what? I did it, even though I felt the panic and I felt the scare, the fear, and I did it anyway. And I might have jumbled my message, but I made sure I brought my message of recovery. I made sure I brought out I didn't get stuck in the mess like I have in the past, and I brought a good message and let people know what this program has done for me. And so I was sweaty and a little nervous, but listen, I think it brings a little power and it brings a little authenticity to the message, and you just do it. That's what we do in recovery, guys. When I'm asked, I've honored every speaking commitment I've been offered this recovery, and I love that, and I will continue to do so because it's important, and I know it's my purpose, and I know I carry a good message, and if I can reach one person, then that's amazing. I know when I get feedback on this channel that somebody's heard my message, it lights me up. Like, there is so much beauty in recovery, guys. Not saying it's a day in the beach, I work hard today. Oh my God, I sold a huge job. I actually planned 2 days for this job. I get up this morning and I had 3 service calls come in. And I'm like, okay, well, I got 2 days to get the job. So I went to my service calls. Didn't even get to start this bigger job till 11 o'clock this morning. And because, again, I underestimate myself. I work hard. And it was a big, heavy, like every muscle in my body is sore, guys. I busted my ass today. But at 4 o'clock in the afternoon, I was done. Everything was 100% done, up and running, and sent pictures to the customer because he lives a little ways away. It's, it's the landlord, obviously. It's who I work for. And boom, sent me my electronic payment over. I'm like, I'm off to a great stop for them. Well, it's midweek, but still. And it worked so well. I got a full day tomorrow. A couple of things I wasn't sure I was going to get to. Now I'll get to because I got ahead of the game today. And I feel good, guys. I feel amazing. I am. I'm gonna sleep well tonight after I make a good dinner. But I'll get up and do it all again over again tomorrow. Like, I live for the day today. I live for the future tomorrow because I have a future today. I don't get stuck in the past. And I used to, guys. For so long, I was convinced that the mistakes of my past were going to keep me stuck in the quagmire that I was stuck in. And no, it wasn't my past that was keeping me there. It was doing those things repeated in the present that was keeping me there. And I don't do them anymore, so I'm not there anymore. I get to move forward today. Like, I've let go of that life. I've got away from all the people I hung out with. I got my family back in my life, and I'm meeting more and more. I was remarking today, actually, as I was going through my list of texts. I'm corresponding with like 40 or 50 people from my recovery network. Like, not one of them's a customer. I'm like, that's beautiful. There's no other point in my life I could ever say that. Like, I'm finding my tribe. I'm involved with my passion. It's beautiful day today, guys. And if I just sat there and get stuck in my past and let my past define me, then I wouldn't be capable of doing any of these things. And I say that to encourage you guys. We remember our past so we remember what's waiting for us. If we go backwards, we use our past as a compass, not an anchor. But you make your amends, you learn your lessons, you keep a reminder of what's there so you don't forget where you come from. But don't let it hold you back, guys. There's a reason the rearview mirror is small and the windshield's large, because it's much more important where you're going than where you've been, right? I can say it a million different ways, but that's obviously letting go of the past is the title of reading today. Let's just get into it before I go off and forget the reading, all right? Letting go of the past. And this is the Just for Today NA meditation, by the way, to give them credit. I love these readings, guys. I really do. Letting go of the past. It is not where we were that counts, but where we are going. When we first find recovery, some of us feel shame or despair at calling ourselves addicts. In the early days, we may be filled with both fear and hope as we struggle to find new meaning in our lives. The past may seem inescapable and overpowering. It may be hard to think of ourselves in any other way than the way we always have. Well, while memories of the past can serve as reminders of what's waiting for us if we're to use again, they can also keep us stuck in a nightmare of shame and fear. Though it may be difficult to let go of those memories, each day in recovery can bring us that much farther away from our active addiction. Each day we can find more to look forward to and less to punish ourselves for. In other words, act better, get better. In recovery, all doors are open to us. We have many choices. Our new life is rich and full of promise. While we don't forget the past, we don't have to live in it either. We can move on, and I suggest you do. And the affirmation is just for today. I will pack my bags and move out of my past into a present filled with hope. And boy, I can say that affirmation, and I have again. Yes, and it's beautiful. I'm so happy that I get to deal with the last piece of wreckage from my past, and it's a huge one. It's taken me since I think I started this project August. It's either July or August of last year. As a matter of fact, no, I don't even have the thing up there anymore. Anyway, I had a notice up there from last year. And it's going to be May before, or maybe possibly even June, so it might be a full year. But you know what? It's getting done because I've just continued to work my program every day to show up and do what God puts in front of me. And as things come up and I've been capable of them, I've just checked them off. And that's the beauty of it, guys. Like, live in the moment. Let go of your past, because again, don't forget your past and make, own up to your mistakes, own up to what you've done, but don't let it own you. Work a recovery program. Invite a higher power into your life. Learn the beauty of prayer and meditation, and then just go out and take better action every day. Like, guys, I know I say these things all the time because I do them and they work. Like, I will guarantee you they work. Every one of you are capable. And we unfortunately are our own worst enemies. We all are, every one of us. I have been my whole life. So much so that when I came in this time around, and I actually stopped and looked, if I had not got a higher power in my life, I wouldn't have been able to deal with it, because I really thought I had mental defects, and I thought, God, the things I was telling myself were just insane and terrible, and they were insurmountable. But the moment I started learning the value of prayer, the moment I realized that there was a program in front of me that I was trying to participate in that would solve all my issues one by one, not overnight, but if I kept coming, there was nothing excluding me from the rock stars that knock things out of the park, other than my own willingness and ability to take action. Not even ability, just my willingness and the amount of work that I actually did. So I literally had to give myself pep talks every day in rehab, going, okay, when I get out of this place, because it's one thing when you're sitting in a rehab and you got no responsibilities and you got nothing going on. And I know, I'd look at my history, because again, I was actually doing the workshops. But this is, knowledge is power, guys. But you've got to apply it. And I realized that I never did, and I only glossed over things. I never got into the meat of things because I was terrified. I was afraid to look into them, to think that there was going to be something. And again, it's insane. That's the disease working in our body, trying to keep you where you are. Overcome it. You can. Rise above it. You can. Do the work. Be honest. Be introspective. Follow the program like it's laid out. Like, get phone numbers and then use them. It's one thing I do today. And again, I love seeing the differences. In the past, I wouldn't even get phone numbers. Maybe a couple here and there, but I give my phone number out willingly and regularly to everybody that asks. And I take people's numbers today. I ask for people's numbers today. And then I make it a point of reaching out. The second I get somebody's number, I send them a message letting them know this is me. And I make it a point to, at least later at some point in the day, to correspond and follow up. And now I've got this amazing network of people that I'm regularly in contact with, that know who I am, know what I'm about. So God forbid I'm having a bad day and I want to isolate. I got people asking me, hey, what are you up to? I haven't seen you. Didn't see you. I routinely go to many meetings a week. And as a matter of fact, my meeting list is expanding because I'm finding more and more love for recovery. And that's what it takes, guys. Like I say all the time, it's not a destination. It's not a one and done. If you want to, guys, we have a chronic illness. We have a lifelong disease. So it's going to take a lifelong cure. So you want to go and begrudgingly go to a meeting and hope you get something out of it, and fight this? Or do you want to fight this and adopt a lifestyle of recovery and then reap the rewards that are out there waiting for you? Like, there's safety in numbers, there's beauty in recovery. Get in with groups, and it's not going to happen overnight, but you're going to have to keep coming. A year, 2 years, 3 years down the road, you're going to have a whole new group of friends that are doing positive things, and maybe going on picnics and whatever, dances if you're younger. Or at this point, I'm looking forward to a vacation. So if I don't hear if anybody suggests it this summer, I'm going to suggest one myself, and look into like a group on Aruba trip or something, because I want to go to Aruba, and I'd rather go with a bunch of sober people than go by myself. Like, and that's the thing, guys. That's the difference in recovery. Instead of waiting for somebody else to do it, I've learned that I can be the person to do it. We all can. And that's the difference between the people that make it and the people that don't. Yes, meeting makers make it because they go to meetings and they participate, right? And then if you want to adopt more recovery into your life, then go out and do it. And if somebody else isn't doing what you want, then figure it out and do it. The confidence you gain, and that's why I can today. I couldn't have a year ago. I was afraid when I first came in, guys. I was talking. I went with a group of my meeting members. I don't know if I could say that right. That's not right. I went with a group of people from my home group last night to another meeting to celebrate one of our group members 1 year, and we all carpooled, and I was driving, and we were talking, and on the ride back, I'm looking at my truck full of my friends, and I'm like, all of these people were in that meeting the first day that I walked in, and I looked at every one of them, and my anxiety and my insecurity was judging them, and not one of them did I think would be the type. I thought these people were so over and above me, and I didn't think for a second that any one of them would accept me. And I thought about it, and I got a good chuckle out of it, because here I am dropping them all off. I know where they all live. We talk regularly. They're my best friends. They're my closest friends. They've welcomed me into the group, and they've just shared my successes, and they've helped me grow more confident. My friend Mo saying yesterday, she's like, the way you light up a room and the confidence you carry. And I look, I'm like, you know what? She's not blowing smoke up my ass. That's the truth, because I do the work in and every day. This is what God saw inside of me. This is the person God made me to be. And because I get on my knees every morning and ask God to help me be that person, and then I look for opportunities to step up and do better, and I pay attention to that, and I take better actions. And again, I still catch myself slipping. I still catch old behaviors as they come up, because seasons change and jobs come up and different things come up, and I rectify them. And I don't freak out and say, oh my God, I did something. Because I do. I make mistakes. I slip. But when I slip, it's not because I'm using drugs. It's not because I'm, robbing somebody. I'm not, all my old behaviors are gone. But when I slip, it's more like I catch myself just doing something that isn't for my highest good, doing something from an ego-driven place. And again, that was one of my big things, guys. I realized that my ego was running the show, because instead of allowing myself to be who I really am, I was out there. My ego wanted me to personify whatever badass gangster people thought I was, and I'm not. That's not who I am. I've never intentionally started a fight. Yeah, if I see somebody else getting picked on, I'll step in, because I am a good fighter, and more often than not, that's enough to make somebody back down. I'm not afraid to when it's for the right reason, but I've never gone out and just picked a fight to beat somebody up. I've never wanted to physically beat the hell out of somebody just because I think I'm better than them. That's not who I am. But yet, why was I feeling it was necessary? So one of the things I had to do early on, and I did this, and guys, I just share what's worked for me. If it works for you, great. If you want to try it, great. So in my early prayers, one of the things I would say is, I denounce my ego, God. I want to do your will, not mine. Because I had to remind myself constantly that I didn't want to walk from a place of my ego, because I know my ego just isn't who I was at that point. Now, over the course of 15 months, doing this every day, seeing the results of being better, now I can have a little bit of ego, because again, a little bit of ego is good, because it makes you want to go out and try harder to gain more so I can be more successful. And guys, there's nothing wrong with success, and I had to teach myself that. another thing I had to do. I could never hold on to a dime, no matter when I had good jobs and made decent money. Like I had a terrible relationship with money because I always told myself that money was the root of all evil. No, it's not. Money is a necessary energy and it's needed to provide us a life worth living. So now and again, that was something I had to physically do. So I went to a hypnotist and I bought a whole 6 month course on changing my relationship with money. And I felt so silly doing it, but I'm like, no, these are the things I have to try them. It's worth a shot. And I tell you what, today, wow, like what's happened with my relationship with money is mind-boggling. Just the confidence to charge more, the paying attention to every penny, not paying ATM fees, not wasting money stupidly. I don't go without. I eat good. I dress better than I ever have, but I'm not extravagant because I'm saving. And now because I'm literally in a position to make that long-standing dream that I always had of buying property. And again, I'm not even looking to move out of my apartment. I want to buy property that's commercial so I can rent it and be a landlord. And I haven't wanted to say this out loud, but we were talking last night. And after I have some, I want to look at owning a sober house. Like we'll make Pat Kelly Recovery a physical place as well. Talk about an aspiration. Like it literally almost brings tears to my eyes because I know I can do it. It may not be the first property, it may not be the third or fourth. But once I'm established and have a few, then I'll have the ability to do so. So because of that, I'll start looking into it now because again, if God puts it in my field of vision and it just makes sense, that's the thing, guys. All these things are possible because I've let go of my past. I keep my past behind me. I keep it in my back pocket because I want to remember what's waiting for me out there. I don't ever want to forget. And that's why I do all the things I do on a daily basis. Because I only get a 24-hour reprieve if I get up in the morning and I work my program. The first time I don't, I'll probably end up dead. Like, that's what's waiting for me out there. Not even, anyway, we're not even going to go there because it's just not worth thinking about. But it's something I got to remember. But again, I choose to live. I choose to be my best self every day. I'm not saying I do it perfectly, but it gets easier and easier, and I get better and better at it. And that's the beauty, and every one of you can. Every one of you will. Guys, it's not a single answer. It's not a single action. It's a multi-layered disease that affects every area of our life, and recovery has an answer for every layer of it if you work your program. And if you're doing it and you think you're working, if you are working your program but it's not working for you, stop and take a look back and just wonder, is there something you're doing that isn't what it could be? Is there something you're overlooking? Are you trying to manipulate something? Like, for me, nothing ever worked because I just did everything wrong. So this time I've just sat back and said, you've heard me say in the video 100 times, I will do what's in my hand today to the best of my ability without trying to predetermine what I think I need or making up for what I think I lost. No, just doing obviously if I'm, when I get just one step at a time, the biggest, most important ones first, and then I just pay attention to what's in front of me and do it to the best of my ability and see where the next logical step is, not what my broken brain wanted early on. And it's worked amazingly well. Guys, that is the video for today. Thank you so very much for being here with me. Always remember, God loves you. I love you. We will see you in the next one.